Could the Buffalo Bills' identity be changing going forward in 2023? And keep in mind, Sean McDermott is a defensive-minded coach. Leslie Frazier, defensive-minded coach. We really don't have a dynamic offensive coordinator here. First-time offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey. Brian Dable was probably the best one that we've had in the McDermott era. But we got to dive into this video and discuss it. And one comparison I want to make here is the Kansas City Chiefs to the Buffalo Bills, right? Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid is an offensive-minded head coach. He is known to be one of the best coaches in the NFL for getting quarterbacks up to speed, progressing quarterbacks in the NFL. Donovan McNabb, even Alex Smith, getting the most of these players and also the most of their offensive schemes. And I think Patrick Mahomes really proved this year that he didn't have Tyreek Hill. So the Bills should be able to jump to some conclusions here, looking at the Kansas City Chiefs and why they've been so successful. No Tyreek Hill, but they do have Travis Kelce, dynamic tight end, but also Juju Smith, right? There's some weapons there, but proof is they didn't have the best, right? They didn't have the best players in the league, and Patrick Mahomes was still able to get it done. So thinking about this and knowing this, that, the Kansas City Chiefs are really successful and that Andy Reid is an offensive mind, maybe the Buffalo Bills need to have a little bit of a philosophy change going forward, right? Sean McDermott is a defensive-minded coach, and he brings in a guy like Von Miller, allocates that money towards the defensive line, which makes an awful lot of sense, right? Re-signing Matt Milano, splurging there. But knowing that Sean McDermott, Leslie Frazier are supposed to be great defensive coordinators, that they are supposed to get the most out of all the players on this defense, does it really make sense spending and splurging on defense? I really think we should maybe trying to help the first-time offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey, trying to help this offense be as good as possible, right? Because they're not experts on offense. They're experts on the defense, opposite of the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think the Buffalo Bills really need to look hard at this, especially going forward. Sean McDermott focusing on defense, trying to get the most of defense while splurging and spending and allocating money to the offense. And I get it. Sean McDermott first came to Buffalo. He wanted to impress Buffalo. I mean, gosh, a lot of times NFL coaches don't last very long. And Sean McDermott coming to Buffalo his first year as a head coach probably wanted to prove to the world that he is a defensive coordinator. He is a defensive-minded coach. That is the reason why he got a head coaching job. He got our head coaching job was because he was so great with the defense. So it really poses the question here, could the Buffalo Bills start to transition away from allocating so much money on defense? Sean McDermott, his first year in Buffalo, he brings in Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, drafts Trey White, trying to solidify this defense. But now, as the seasons progress, we have found Josh Allen, our franchise quarterback, and Josh Allen has progressed to the point where he's one of the best, if not the best, quarterback in the NFL. I think Buffalo should do all they can to help this offense versus the defense. Sean McDermott could get the most out of these players. And you look at Christian Benford, even drafting Trey White, 27th overall. Kyer Elam was a late draft pick too. I mean, we continue to find hidden gems in the draft, especially on defense. Offensively, we haven't found a really great value in the draft. James Cook could maybe prove that, but everyone else, we had to trade up for Josh Allen, right? Gabe Davis was a fairly decent value, but nothing dynamic like it was on defense. Matt Milano being drafted in the 3rd round, Taron Johnson in the 3rd or 4th round. I mean, hidden gem after hidden gem this team has been on defense, and we're a defensive-minded coach. So Let me know in the comments if you agree. Do you think the Buffalo Bills should start transitioning away from allocating all of our attention to this defense, knowing that Sean McDermott, Leslie Frazier can get the most out of players defensively? Don't you think it makes a lot more sense to maybe allocate more money to offense and on a team that doesn't have the best offensive coordinator, on a team that doesn't necessarily right now have the best offensive line? You look at that Chiefs versus Eagles Super Bowl, the trenches, how low they were blocking everyone up. The Bills need to make some serious changes, especially on that offensive side of the football. I think the Bills' first draft picks or free agents need to be focused on the offensive side, offensive line, wide receiver. Man, I mean, even maybe another tight end too. You can't rule that out. Another tight end for Josh Allen. We are expecting Josh Allen to play to the same level as Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes has Andy Reid, and I don't foresee that. I don't think that's. I don't think we can expect that from Josh Allen because we don't have the offensive coordinator here, right? I think we need to put as much talent as possible on this offense. So let me know in the comments again. Hit like, subscribe if you guys enjoyed this style of video. I'm thinking about just doing more macro type stuff with the Buffalo Bills, discussing the season. And yeah, later we will be getting into particular draft picks, free agent signings. I've said it in my previous videos that this free agency pool isn't really that special, and the Buffalo Bills are currently over $20 million in salary cap. We all know Tremaine Edmonds, Jordan Poyer, Devin Singletary are all going to be entering a free agency, and we really don't know whether or not they are going to be re-signed to the Buffalo Bills. And I think there is a good chance that the Bills part ways with Jordan Poyer, that the Bills part ways with Tremaine Edmonds. And reflecting to what I said at the beginning of this video, maybe the Buffalo Bills can get away with drafting a middle linebacker and having him start as a middle linebacker. You know, it really boils down to that defensive line blocking up players so that you allow the linebackers to read and react and fly around freely. Matt Milano could maybe easily bump into middle linebacker too, and then we can find an outside linebacker. Terrell Bernard was stepping up big, but didn't really see a lot of playing time. None of our rookies defensively saw a lot of playing time this year. And I think Ed Oliver is capped by the player that is next to him. And knowing that Jordan Poyer was hurt, Daquan Jones dealing with injury throughout the year, we had to transition from Star, from Shaq, from Jordan Phillips, from all these guys to the point that we are at now. We definitely have some sorting out to do. My faith and trust in the Buffalo Bills is on the defense. I know Sean McDermott. I know Leslie Frazier, perennial winners dominating on the defensive side of the football. The problems with this team is on offense, not having a dynamic offensive coordinator, not having extra weapons to cater to Josh Allen, not having one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. We got to get back to that, Bills Mafia. We got to get back to that. So again, hope you enjoyed this video. Hit like, subscribe. Go Bills. Peace.